Hello and welcome to the Tongue of the Trees. My name is Elizabeth Ashley, the Secret Healer, and this is what is German Chamomile Essential Oil good for, or what is blue chamomile essential oil good for, or what is chamomile matricaria essential oil good for. So, as you probably guessed, there's lots and lots of different versions of the same name for the same oil. Obviously, it's a chamomile, but it differs from Roman chamomile in that it has a constituent in it called chamomile, which happens when it goes through distillation. So the plant itself has a beautiful white flower with a yellow corona, but then when it's distilled and heat is passed through it, the essential oil develops this beautiful chamomile component that is blue. So we have blue, or German chamomile, or matricaria. Now I have to say, I call it matricaria, so we will probably find that that's what I use all the way through, but I try not to say it too often. Cannot promise that though. So we're going to use these cards. So these are the Tongue of the Trees cards, and they are a set of cards created by myself and a Hungarian aromatherapist called Gergely Halodi, and we will talk about them more in the next video. There's another free video. If you go down to the bottom, you'll be able to see a link that takes you to my website where we talk much more in depth about German chamomile. So we talk about the mind, the body, the spirits, and the emotional, mental and spiritual aspects of German chamomile, but also the safety and how one goes about blending it. But I just wanted to show you the keyword, because these are designed to bypass the conscious mind and talk to the unconscious, the subconscious, and work on the emotional components that quite often are the problems behind physical illness. So what do we feel when we inhale German chamomile? Soothe. It's so soothing. So that gives context really to the physical medicine that we're going to talk about in this video, because we're really going to treat German chamomile essential oil like a first aid kit here. So this is just solely dealing with acute problems that come and go, and using it on that skin in that way. So whilst we can say that essential oils don't have side effects, what they do have is many main effects. So we have this beautiful energetic shift that happens through the body when we use oils. So the keyword really gives away everything that it does, in that it is so soothing. So for example, if we had something that was inflamed, so very red skin, very painful skin, very painful joints, very inflamed tempers, although that's not so much physical, that's more emotional, isn't it? But the whole idea is, if there is inflammation, we use a chamomile, right? So we talked about this blue component, this chamomile, and chamomile is liquid anesthetic. You know, it's so soothing, it's so pacifying, it's numbing. So where I have to say, so this is probably the difference. This is something that I've kind of always backwards and forwards in my mind over, because people say, well, how do you know how to use Roman chamomile over German chamomile? And the answer to that is, you just do. You just do. So being able to explain that in more solid terms is very, very difficult. But I guess I would use Roman chamomile for the actual physical swelling, of getting that physical swelling down. But I would use German chamomile if the pain were more problematic than the actual swelling, because the chamomile is the liquid anesthetic. So whilst they both do the same thing, the difference is so subtle, And I would say to you, if you say to me, do I need 2 chamomiles? Probably you don't, if I'm honest. But if you did have to, then you would start to feel the energetic difference. So we would use it for inflammation. So we would use it for arthritis or muscular pain. Remember how the chamomile is numbing. Straight away you can feel it. But the chamomile also reduces the swelling. It's not to say that it doesn't do it and chamomile Roman chamomile does. That's not true. They both do it. It's such a very subtle difference. So we could use it for menstrual pain. Yeah, we have this inflamed, the heat, don't you? You get really hot pain down there when you're sore. So yeah, German chamomile. Likewise, headaches. We could use it on the temples. Small amount. But we have to ask ourselves then, so when do we get our headaches? Well, we might have completely a organic response. So maybe it's a food allergy, maybe it's hormonal. Any of those things can cause it, can't they? But imagine stress headache or anger headache. I get anger headaches. We're calming that inflammation and we feel the difference that way. But likewise, we could say, well, also, what about insomnia? Insomnia is a really important one. The sleep has gone. Thought we had a power cut then. Everything turned off, but it's come back on again. We're having this tremendous storm and my electric is all over the place. Sorry. So also, of course, any kind of situation that is clearly responding to stress. So nervous diarrhea. Stressful headaches, stress flare-ups for eczema, psoriasis. And eczema in particular responds very, very well to chamomiles. How it's inflamed, you know, it's very interesting how when you say it out loud, it doesn't feel it, but if you feel it, the connection between the inflammation in the physical body and the emotional body, it's profound. But when you say it out loud, it doesn't feel that strong. But it, you know, there's a definite feeling of I feel so inflamed, and you can see it on my skin, you know. If you watch any of my other videos, like cardamom or coriander or fennel, you'll know I always sort of giggle when I say intestinal parasites, because it's not really something that we struggle that much with in the West. But in the East, where they eat lots of raw fish and things like that, there can be parasites. So chamomiles are great for that, dispelling. Again, though, I would say don't drink the oil, use the tea. Colic, very good reason to use chamomile. And actually, I was going to say and nappy rash, and that is next on my list actually, and cracked nipples. That feeling just when you are a new mum and everything feels inflamed, baby's bum's inflamed, your tits inflamed, now it's started screaming and it's inflamed with pain, you know. This is a tremendous spectrum where German chamomile goes, well, where did it start? I don't know, but it's worked everywhere, you know. So, you know, a drop of the oil in a nappy rash cream, or a drop, actually. So my eldest daughter, she had terrible colic. So what I used to do is make a little massage oil, very, very weak dilution, maybe 0.5% of, and then just make the oil slightly warm. I mean, I'm not talking hot, I'm talking hand hot warm. And then I would lie her on her tummy, massage it onto her tummy and her back, and I would lie her onto a pillow that I'd warmed up, so that she was sort of in that sort of situation over it. And she just used to go from going, you know, you would feel the difference in her gut straight away. The heat and the chamomile together, extremely, extremely helpful. And of course, as I say, the nappy rash, the cracked nipples, there's all a lot that are unrelated, and yet they are related somehow. In the same way, hay fever. So the histamines become inflamed, they become agitated and irritated. So these words, these irritations, they are all very much ingrained in the archetype of the chamomiles: irritation, agitation, inflammation. They're just, you know, they're all describers of what goes on in the emotional body, but also in the physical body. Insomnia, of course, I've written that twice. In the same paradigm, I guess, as the colic, the nappy rash, the cracked nipples, the joy of new parenthood is the hemorrhoids. So again, very good at soothing, calming that inflammation down. It's a swollen blood vessel, isn't it? A trapped blood vessel. Calms the inflammation down, calms the redness down, calms down the pain. Diarrhea, don't need to explain that anymore. Neuralgia, you know, things like trigeminal neuralgia. German chamomile with some yarrow, similar blue oil with the camantiline, and some sweet basil. Beautiful, beautiful blend. Earache, obviously, same, just inflamed. Chicken pox, itching, eye infections and inflammation, and conjunctivitis. So I feel like I've told you loads and told you nothing, because you could work it all out. Anything that hurts and is inflamed, German chamomile. So let's have a look. I can't remember what recipes I did. Right, so the recipes that are in the recipe hub this month for chamomile matricaria are, or include, eczema, an eczema ointment, and we show you how to make the ointment right from scratch, right from the base. For joint pain, for insect bites and stings. Yes, I got bit in a very intimate place the other day when I was sitting by the pond late at night after I'd had my bath. Don't need to graphicize that anymore, do I? But needless to say, I should have had more underwear on than I did, and I got bit in a very uncomfortable place. Thank goodness for German chamomile. Shingles, and also fibromyalgia. Now, shingles, of course, we have the itching and the inflammation of the I'm going to say pustules, but that's not what I'm trying to say. You know, the welts that you get, the spots. But also, one of the main complications you see with shingles in older people is the neuropathy that comes, that awful nerve pain that goes right through the body and becomes really debilitating. So we look at using German chamomile in that way too. So the two are related and connected and treated with the same oils in a way that is conscious. You know, that we kind of go, right, we're making a conscious decision to choose oils that treat the whole gamut of symptoms. And likewise fibromyalgia. So I am a pain practitioner. I teach pain aromatherapists to become pain practitioners, and one of the key areas that aromatherapy is so helpful in is fibromyalgia, because it is so related to the emotional body. And there's that feeling that of complete annoyance when one goes to the doctors and the doctor said, well, I think it's stress, and you go, how bloody rude, it's not stress. And both of you are correct. You know, it's not stress, it's stress related. Stress has made it worse. It's hypersensitized your entire system. And if we can make conscious movements to calm down the changes in the neurotransmission that happen because of the stress, we can calm down the pain that you are feeling. So we cover that in the recipe hub. So in the next video, we'll talk about the emotional, the mental, the spiritual. We'll also talk about the safety, although if spoilers, there's not much to say in for Chamomile matricaria. Very simple oil to use, and also how to blend it. We will talk about more about these cards, and also how you can access the recipe hub. So have a look at the link below. Come across to my website. It's still completely free. You won't be asked for your email or anything like that. It's just so I can keep things tidy and give you lots more information about the projects that I can help you with to make your essential oil treatments so much better. So thank you for being with me, and I'll see you hopefully in video 2, where we talk about what is German Chamomile Essential Oil for, what's it good for, and how do we